This is Internews, and I'm Kateri Mackenzie. We bring you a clear and impartial look at developments across the micronational world, covering political decisions, diplomatic initiatives, and institutional change in this diverse and evolving landscape. With a focus on accuracy and balance, our goal is to provide informed analysis and context around the issues shaping intermicronational affairs. Here are the main stories. One of the most recognized names in micronational diplomacy, Westarctica, has been caught up in a high-profile fraud case in India. But authorities and the micronational community agree the state itself is a victim. We go now to our correspondent Ravi Pratap Singh, reporting from Delhi.
Thank you, Kateri. Police here in Ghaziabad, a city near Delhi, say they've uncovered a years-long scheme involving forged diplomatic credentials, fake passports, and an alleged embassy operating under the name of Westarctica. The suspect, Harshvardhan Jain, 47, was arrested on 22 July after the Uttar Pradesh Special Task Force raided a rented bungalow. Inside, they found luxury vehicles with fake diplomatic plates, dozens of rubber stamps, and over 44 lakh rupees in cash, about 72,000 Canadian dollars or 894,800 Castilian piastres. Jain, who had been presenting himself as Westarctica's Consul General, allegedly used the Micronation's name, along with others, to solicit money from job seekers and investors by offering false employment and foreign residency. Authorities say Jain created an illusion of legitimacy, producing fake documents and editing photos to show himself with senior officials. He allegedly operated for nearly 9 years, during which time he traveled frequently and maintained offshore accounts. Police now say Jain faces multiple charges under India's revised Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, including forgery, cheating, and use of forged documents.
And how has Westarctica responded to all this?
Westarctica responded within hours of the arrest, making clear that Jain held only a symbolic honorary title, one never intended to carry legal authority. He was not authorized to issue documents or claim diplomatic privileges. Here is a portion of the statement issued by Grand Duke Travis McHenry.
Westarctica's Consul General to India, Baron H.V. Jain, was arrested by the state police of Uttar Pradesh for illegal activities related to financial fraud. During the arrest, Mr. Jain was found to be in possession of diplomatic number plates, passports, and many other items bearing the seal of Westarctica. As an honorary consul, he was not authorized to create these items. The government of Westarctica itself does not utilize number plates or passports, and we have never permitted or encouraged our representatives to do so themselves.
Founded in 2001, Westarctica is one of the best-known micronations globally. Its symbolic claim over Murray BYD land in Antarctica has become the foundation for a non-profit organization focused on climate advocacy, citizen engagement, and micronational diplomacy. After the arrest, Westarctica revoked Jain's status, launched a consular audit, and offered full cooperation with Indian authorities. No wrongdoing is attributed to the Grand Duchy itself. Within the community, the case has triggered wider conversations about vetting, representation, and the misuse of symbolic sovereignty. But Westarctica's swift, public response has been held up as a model for how a micronation can act with integrity in the face of reputational risk. Reporting from Delhi, I'm Ravi Pratap Singh, Special Correspondent for Inter-CRBS Saint-Castin.
A cautionary tale and a reminder that vigilance matters, even in symbolic diplomacy. Our thanks to Ravi Pratap Singh in Delhi, India. We turn now to an international development gaining attention across the micronational world. The next edition of MicroCon, the Summit of Self-Declared Nations, has been announced. In 2027, the North American event will take place in San Diego, California. With a packed program already unveiled, it's seen as one of the boldest and most expensive editions yet, raising concerns over affordability for smaller budget micronationalists. Here's a special report from Bambi Encino in Southern California.
Thank you. I'm Bambi Encino, reporting from San Diego for INTR CRBS Saint-Castin, where the countdown has officially begun for what's shaping up to be the most ambitious edition of MicroCon to date. The Republic of Saint-Castin, a relatively new but already well-known micronation, has confirmed it will host MicroCon 2027 North America here in San Diego. And with a 4-day program that blends diplomacy, spectacle, and cultural exchange, the summit promises to make a lasting impression. At the center of the event is the Ultimate Skybox, a luxury penthouse atop Diamond View Tower, overlooking the city and Pacific Ocean. With a rooftop terrace, multimedia setup, and panoramic views, it sets a new tone, more like an executive gala than past editions. Previously held in suburban hotels or community centers, the summit now enters the realm of polished, high-production experiences. The official program spans 4 days. Thursday night begins with a welcome reception designed to break the ice and set the stage. Friday is open, likely reserved for informal networking or bilateral meetings. On Saturday, delegates will gather for a full day of presentations and exhibitions inside the penthouse venue. That evening, they'll board a private yacht for a formal gala dinner on San Diego Bay. The event concludes with 2 excursions, one across the U.S.-Mexico border for a cultural experience in Baja California, and a second surprise outing, described only as wild and unforgettable. This year's edition, however, is expected to be the most elaborate yet, and the most expensive ever for participants. That ambition comes with a staggering price tag. Here's how pricing breaks down. Access to the main conference is $240, around 325 Canadian dollars, or 4,400 Castilian piastres. The gala dinner adds another $240, and the Mexico excursion is the same. A bundled everything package is currently priced at $480, is almost equal to 650 Canadian dollars, or 8,800 piastres, during the early registration phase. Once that ends, the cost will rise to $960, about 1,300 Canadian dollars, or 17,600 piastres. For international attendees, total costs, including travel, accommodation, meals, and attire, could exceed $2,500, around 3,400 Canadian dollars, or 45,800 piastres. There are no refunds available, and all purchases are final. However, a monthly payment plan is being offered through the official registration system to help spread the cost over time. Founded in 2021, Saint-Castin is known for its satirical take on statecraft, rejecting crocs, hosting playful ceremonies, and celebrating with flair. San Diego is a major destination with direct flights from across North America. Some budget-conscious attendees may fly into Tijuana and use the cross-border express to enter the U.S., though that requires valid documents and planning. Unlike past microcons, no official hotel block is provided, and delegates must arrange their own lodging, often costly, with downtown rates between $250 and $400 per night. With registration open and the program set, MicroCon 2027 is poised to be a landmark for the micronational community. More than a summit, it's a chance to showcase identity and celebrate global diversity. One thing is clear, San Diego will leave its mark. Reporting from Southern California, I'm Bambi Encino for INTR CRBS Saint-Castin. Back to you.
Thank you, Bambi. A major moment ahead for small nations, and a reminder that rising ambition doesn't always mean broader access. After our look at MicroCon 2027 in San Diego, focus now shifts to its European counterpart. Just confirmed, it will take place in Aigues-Mortes in France. While the setting is rich in history, the choice has sparked renewed debate around symbolism, responsibility, and direction. We now turn to our special correspondent, Karim Zirawal, in Nîmes.
Thank you. I'm Karim Zeroual for INTR CRBS Saint-Castin, reporting from Nîmes. Following San Diego's announcement, European organizers have unveiled their plans. MicroCon Europe 2027 will be held in Aigues-Mortes, a fortified medieval town in southern France. It's a striking setting of stone ramparts and cobbled streets. Supporters highlight the charm and tradition. But within the Micronational community, questions are already surfacing. The Principality of Aigues-Mortes is notorious for excessive pageantry and self-indulgent distortions of history. While this adds character, others wonder whether the small town is fit for an international summit. With no dedicated conference center, limited translation services, and few modern amenities, infrastructure is tight. Most hotels are small and already booked. Delegates will likely be scattered across nearby towns, adding cost and complexity. Travel also presents challenges. International flights to Paris, Frankfurt, or London, then on to Montpellier or Marseille, followed by a regional train. Unlike previous editions like IPAs, with walkable venues and high-speed access, Aigues-Mortes may test logistics. Organizers have promised guidance, but details remain scarce. Programmed events include a boat party, walking tours, and the Golden Flamingo Gala, mixing ceremony with humor. Some see it as quintessential MicroCon. Others worry it veers into performance at the expense of substance. So far, few panels or policy sessions have been confirmed, prompting concern over the summit's depth. The host choice also revives community tensions. At MicroCon in Montreal, 2 organizers resigned following sustained harassment, including blackmail and defamation, by Aigues-Mortes Chancellor Olivier de Constance. For many, the current announcement feels like déjà vu, pageantry over principle, selection driven more by alliances than merit. The town's past adds to the unease. In 1893, it was the site of a deadly anti-immigrant riot against Italian workers, a tragedy still under-acknowledged. Some feel its selection clashes with MicroCon's inclusive ideals. Local political trends, marked by rising far-right support, further complicate perceptions, even if the Principality is technically separate from the town. Compared with IPRA 2023 and San Diego 2027, Aigues-Mortes stand out for tradition, not convenience. Where others offer global reach or solemn resonance, this setting suggests charm, but with logistical hurdles. From Nîmes, Gare Department in France, I'm Karim Zeroual, reporting for INTR CRBS Saint-Castin.
Thank you, Karim. And while plans move forward for Aigues-Mortes in 2027, it's worth remembering that the last European-linked controversy began here in Montreal. Between June 26th and 30th, MicroCon 2025 brought about 110 delegates to the Ruby Foos Hotel for what was billed as the world's largest micronational summit. The program of panels, ceremonies, and receptions went ahead, but the lead-up was marked by resignations and allegations that continue to echo in the community. For more, we go to our correspondent, Martine Berdane.
Yes, Kateri. Inside, the mood today remains polite and cordial, with attendees from more than a dozen countries. But compared to some past editions, the scale is modest, and this year's organizing story is a complicated one. Just days before opening, principal co-organizers Dominique de Saints and Chloe de Saint-Cretoja resigned, citing a breakdown of trust and ethics within the host committee. They allege sustained personal pressure from Olivier de Constance, Chancellor of the Principality of Aigues-Mortes, including repeated verbal misconduct and disinformation. Despite complaints, he remained with senior from the Central MicroCon committee backing.
And how was that handled internally?
A jointly agreed code of conduct initially led to majority support for excluding Mr. de Constance. That decision was later reversed, reportedly after pressure from the MicroCon Central Committee and allied delegations. A proposed compromise, allowing both parties to attend while avoiding contact, collapsed within days. Responsibility then shifted to the remaining organizers. The loss of 2 key figures so close to opening inevitably shaped both atmosphere and scale.
And the broader reaction?
Publicly, most have been cautious. A representative of the Micronational Hall of Excellence called it a black eye on MicroCon, and there are renewed calls for clearer dispute handling protocols. Some are also raising the issue of cryonism, the perception that personal alliances outweigh merit in decision-making. Neither Mr. de Constance nor Prince Jean-Pierre IV has commented. The timing is notable. Aigues-Mortes was recently confirmed as host for MicroCon Europe 2027.
And the departing organizers.
No boycott has been urged. In her resignation letter, Chloe de Saint-Castin thanked those continuing the summit, but described the process as emotionally exhausting. MicroCon 2025 concluded here in Montreal with flags, awards, and photo opportunities. But the questions raised may last far longer than the closing ceremony. Reporting from Montreal, I'm Martine Bourdonnet for INTR Saint-Castin.
Martine Bourdonnet reporting from Montreal. Thank you. A picturesque summit in the German countryside has brought together a select group of micronational leaders. The 2025 edition of the Micro Euro Summit took place last week at the royal residence of Ronkerhall, near Goslar, a historic venue known for its unique blend of pageantry and tradition. With around 30 participants in attendance, the gathering focused on ceremony, diplomacy, and cultural exchange. We go now to our special correspondent, Barbara Schmidt, in Hanover.
Thank you. Yes, the Micro Euro Summit 2025 was hosted by His Majesty King George V of Hanover at the Kingdom of Ronkerhall, a former mountain hotel turned royal-style residence nestled in the Harz region. While the attendance was relatively modest, with approximately 30 delegates from across Europe, the setting and program created a highly engaged atmosphere. The main conference took place on Saturday in the ornate King's Great Hall. Presentations covered topics including micronational diplomacy, regional census efforts, and historical reflections. Speakers included Grand Duke Nicholas of Flandrensis and Duke Ivan Batians of Ladonia, both longtime contributors to the European micronational community. Hands-on workshops were a central part of the event. Attendees had the opportunity to strike ceremonial coins, take part in a philatelic showcase, and explore postal symbolism and protocol. Each delegate also received stamped commemorative materials from the co-hosting micronations. The summit closed with a gala dinner, medal exchanges, and a traditional knighting ceremony offering space for both formal recognition and lighthearted celebration. While relatively small in scale, this edition of the Micro Euro Summit reinforced the value of personal connection and shared experience in the evolving landscape of European micronationalism. Barbara Schmidt, Special Correspondent for INTR Saint-Castin, reporting from Hanover, Germany.
Thank you, Barbara. That was Barbara Schmidt in Hanover, reporting on the Micro Euro Summit 2025. A major change in leadership has taken place at MicroWiki, the leading collaborative platform for micronational information. The announcement was made during the Micro Euro Summit at Ronkerhall in Goslar, Germany. Our special correspondent Sophie de Vries joins us now live from Maastricht in Netherlands with more on this transition.
Yes, Kateri. The symbolic handover took place last week, with outgoing owner Luxor transferring ownership of MicroWiki to Horaidosha, also widely known as Ivan Bertjens, a known figure in European micronational circles. The moment was marked by a handshake, witnessed by site founder Fabian Schneider. Luxor, who had led the site through a turbulent period, said he stepped down to focus on technical development, leaving the leadership role to someone better suited for public-facing responsibilities. Horaidosha, who has been active in the community since 2016 and is known for his involvement with the Royal Republic of Ladonia, says he has been gradually preparing for this role and consulting with the platform's administrators to set a long-term direction. His stated priorities include improving the site's infrastructure, streamlining administrative tools, and launching new community initiatives starting this September. This change comes after a crisis earlier this year involving former administrator Andrew Creed. Creed, once a key figure in both MicroWiki and the Empire of Australasia, was permanently banned after posting inappropriate content on the site. Sophie de Vries, Special Correspondent for INTR Saint-Castin, reporting from Maastricht, Netherlands.
Thank you, Sophie. That was our special correspondent Sophie de Vries reporting from Maastricht. A sweeping administrative reform is now reshaping the territorial and political structure of the Nugreviate of Saint-Castin. On July 21st, the Legislative Council passed a comprehensive set of laws that expand the number of cantons, redefine local governance, and introduce a new model of regional coordination. The changes mark a significant shift in how the micronation organizes itself internally. For more, we go to Cynthia Tremblay, who is standing by in Saint-Alphonse de Bagotville. Cynthia.
The federal government will oversee Côte de Grâce for 3 years through a multidisciplinary task force. Initial priorities include land surveys, documenting place names, and engaging residents in infrastructure planning. If successful, the canton is expected to transition to local control by 2028. Finally, the third piece of legislation, Law 01/2025, outlines the institutional roles of provincial governors and cantonal administrators. All governors are appointed by the Legislative Council and act as the link between national authorities and provincial administrations, overseeing implementation of national policies and approving budgets. Then, administrators are named by governors and manage services on the ground, from infrastructure to reporting. To address staffing shortages in remote areas, the law allows dual mandates with conditions to avoid conflicts of interest. A national registry and annual reviews ensure transparency and oversight.
And how is the trusteeship in Côte de Grâce expected to function?
Yes, thank you. I'm here in Saint-Alphonse de Bagotville, once the historic capital of Valinois and current residents of the Nugrévine. Earlier this week, the Legislative Council passed 3 foundational laws that collectively reshape the country's internal map and administrative structure. The first, Law 02/2025, redraws the canton map of the province of Valinois. It replaces the former unified canton of Aigues with 3 distinct cantons, Saint-Alphonse de Bagotville, Mars-Maritime, Basse-Mars, Saint-Marc, and Mars-Vive. The change aims to bring governance closer to the ground and better reflect local realities. These 3 cantons are grouped into a new regional body, the Intercantonal Collectivity of Mars Valley Abbé. It will coordinate infrastructure projects, cultural programming, and public services through a rotating presidency and a permanent secretariat. Saint-Alphonse will serve as transitional coordinator for 2 years to support the integration process. The second, Law 03/2025, mirrors this reform in the province of Outaragazipi. It establishes 3 new cantons, Salix, Saint-Stanislas-sous-Bois, Pointe-sur-le-Lac, Saint-Paul's, and Côte de Grâce. The boundaries were drawn based on geography, population needs, and service delivery gaps. Côte de Grâce, a sparsely populated rural area, will be under direct federal oversight for 3 years, a rare but strategic trusteeship.
And Cynthia, what steps are being taken to ensure the reforms don't disrupt services or legal obligations?
That is precisely where transition planning comes in. All contracts and registries will be transferred to the new cantons. A 6-month harmonization plan will update official signage, maps, forms, and administrative symbols. Each new canton received a distinct coat of arms attributed by the Office of the Nugrévine and validated by the Bureau of Public Symbols.
So what's next for these new cantons?
The focus now turns to implementation. Governors and administrators will set up local offices, engage communities, and launch projects in line with the national legal framework. Some cantons are already developing proposals for participatory budgeting, sustainability, and cultural heritage initiatives. This reform represents not only a structural reorganization, but a shift toward accountable, long-term governance. I'm Cynthia Tremblay for INTR Saint-Castin, reporting from Saint-Alphonse de Bagotville, Valinois.
Thank you, Cynthia. That was Cynthia Tremblay reporting on the recent territorial changes within Saint-Castin. We'll continue to follow developments as the new cantons become operational. And that wraps up today's edition of INTR News. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned to INTR Saint-Castin for upcoming news bulletins, updates, and in-depth analysis on the issues that shape our community. We'll be back soon with more.